evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Frankie Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Frankie Rose.
There we are. It's supposed to do that all on its own. Technical difficulties. Are you guys better now? How goes it? How's the sound? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. I'm back. I'm still working, trying to get all of these, all this new tech working properly. Alrighty. So it's good to see all you guys. What do you think of Pooper Proctor getting fired? He's out of there. So good morning, Ruthie, Shauna, Dandy, Mexi, Powder Puff. Is that what I seen up there? Thank you for that. Cream Puff. Good to see y'all chit-chatting and visiting. Good to see us. All righty, we're good to go. So, Pooper Proctor. Well, some say fired and some are saying without pay. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Proctor's suspension went into effect on Monday. It's not clear how long he's going to be off the job. Why did he get suspended? Well, during Karen Reed's trial, Proctor was forced to testify about those derogatory text messages he sent out to friends and family. I guess so. One of the more disturbing ones was, hopefully, she deletes herself. And this was while searching her phone, looking for no clothing. To date, okay, it says here on Tuesday, the State Police Association in Massachusetts called Proctor's suspension disappointing. To date, we've received no information to indicate his suspension was the result of anything other than these text messages and exchanges. So we know that he is also involved in Brian Walsh's case. Now, if you remember him, he allegedly deleted his wife and then spread her parts all over the place. Proctor. Text messages violated policy. I guess so. Todd McGee was a trooper with the Mass State Police for 24 years before retiring in 2011. McGee stated that text messages also warranted punishment. You think? You have to understand that some conduct is in direct violation of department rules and regulations. So things like sharing state police business is a violation. And a violation of confidentiality. The department has high expectations of all of its members to have the utmost integrity and maintain the level of confidentiality about police business. The stuff that he was saying and sending literally to high school friends, police business. The department has high expectations. So I don't think you can land on one thing that triggered a suspension without pay. I think it's a number of things. to go. Also, this is, sorry, I got a little bit stumbled. I think it's a number of things to also connect to a high profile case. Well, I mean, the things that he was saying, I don't know if they're going to give us a lot of the words in here because they're not politically correct, but he was literally telling people that he was looking for photos of her on her phone with no clothes on. He was calling her the R word. Yes. Yes. And Albert also got suspended, Dandy. You betcha. Yeah, you betcha. So what they're saying is it wouldn't be surprising if Proctor faces additional sanctions. He is now in a holding pattern until the investigation completes itself. And then from there, it could be additional sanctions charged against him to include suspension and up to termination. I think it's safe to say that there's more to come in the near future. We'll see how the case wraps up. But a couple of things we need to be mindful of is there is still that federal investigation going on. Yep, you bet. It's Kevin Ruthie. He is now in a holding pattern. I think it's safe to say there's more to come. We'll see how the case wraps up. Very strange and unusual case. Overall, McGee noted Proctor's case has been unique because his punishment is a result of actions that are unfolding in the public eye. Well, yeah. Yeah, you bet, D. Kevin Albert suspended without pay. Oh, so many people, regardless of their vocation, from journalists to attorneys to law enforcement officers, are all seeing very, very strange and unusual case that came out. Well, if that's not the truth, unpaid suspension. Proctor's work in the case was overshadowed by his derogatory texts about Karen Reed, O'Keefe's girlfriend and alleged leader. Hours after Reed's trial ended in a hung jury last week, state police relieved Proctor of his duties. Stumble. So he faced a hearing on Monday. I might actually go through what happened with this board. I didn't watch it when it happened, so I'm thinking maybe we can all watch it together because they had a big meeting on what has been going on in the background. Was he kicked off the board? I was wondering about that. Yeah. Hey, Dingo. Yeah. During his testimony in Reed's trial, he admitted to using language that dehumanized Reed, calling her a whack job with the C word, calling her the R word, made fun of her Crohn's disease and Fall River accent, and joked about looking for pictures with no clothes on. Brutal, guys, just brutal. So this here document, very interesting. This is what Proctor wrote up to get his arrest warrant for Karen. It's disturbing. It's about 9 pages long, but it's worth going through. These meetings are wild. I hope the people of Canton are paying attention. Me too. Good morning, James. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, give me 2 seconds here. Let's see here. So Canton police officer brother Brian Albert placed on leave following Karen's trial. Kevin Albert, the Canton police officer, revealed to be communicating with lead Massachusetts state investigator Michael Proctor during the investigation ahead of Karen Reed's trial, has been placed on paid admin leave. I can confirm that Detective Albert was placed on administration leave with pay as of June 13th. So this has been a while. An investigation related to the testimony of Trooper Proctor in the Karen Reed trial, a written statement from Helena Rafferty, the new Canton police chief, said the move to place Albert on admin leave was made by the Canton town officials just days after Proctor took the stand in Karen Reed's case. So on the stand, Proctor did acknowledge that he was drinking buddies with Albert. He acknowledged they went out drinking several months after O'Keefe passed, worked on a cold case together, and communicated about coordinating aspects of O'Keefe's case, even though the Canton Police Department recused itself. Remembering that, they were not supposed to have anything to do with this because of all of these close connections. Drinking buddies. So Kevin Albert is the brother of Brian, and Brian's the one that had 34 Fairview was his home, where John O'Keefe was found unalive in his front yard. You know that he, above everybody else, should be completely removed from any contact from the investigation or investigators, Ellen Jackson had said about Proctor during the trial. The tongue sticking to my mouth, the top of my mouth. The defense is just wanting this. They're asking that this just be done. You know, is there any reason to really do this over again? They didn't have any facts. The turning point in the 2-month trial came when Proctor, the lead investigator in the case, was forced to acknowledge and apologize for sending the offensive texts about Reed to his friends, family, and fellow troopers. He has been suspended without pay, also admitted texting his sister that he wished Reed would delete herself. And he just said, you know, that's a figure of speech because his emotions got the best of him. Now, this document here, let's take a look, guys. Let's just take a look. I, Trooper Michael Proctor, am a Massachusetts State Police officer and have been an officer since 2013. I am presently assigned to the State Police District in Norfolk County District Attorney's Office and have been so since September 2019. And during that time, let me just get this figured out. During that time, I have investigated and processed serious and violent crimes, including suies, sudden and suspicious, and unattended deaths, along with RUG investigations. Though these investigations I have participated in the execution of search warrants from which various types of evidence has been seized. I am a trained criminal investigation, including homicide and death investigations, crime scene investigations, collection of physical evidence, crime scene processing, and the investigations of such cases. I have received special training to obtain and analyze cellular telephone data, call detail records in support of criminal investigations. You think you do? I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice from Anna Maria College. In addition to my assignment in Division of Investigative Services, I have been assigned to the Division of Field Services, working in Troop C, Central Mass, and Troop H in Metro Boston. Oh, you guys. Based on information contained in the numbered paragraphs below, which are the product of my own investigation and my discussion with Massachusetts state troopers and officers with the Canton Police Department involved in the investigation, I submit that I have probable cause for an arrest to be issued for Karen Reed, born February 26, 1980. I believe the evidence of crime of manslaughter, a violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 265, Section 3, negligent motor vehicle homicide, a violation of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 9, Section 24G, and leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, a violation of Massachusetts state law. January 29th at approximately 6:04 a.m., Canton Police Department received a 911 call from a woman reporting a male party, John O'Keefe, in the snow at 34 Fairview Road. At the time of the 911 call, there was heavy snow and the temperature was in the teens. Officer Saraf and Mullaney were dispatched to the scene along with Canton Fire and EMS. Officer Saraf arrived on scene and observed 3 females waving at him. Looking at 34 Fairview from the roadway, the 3 females were on the left corner of the property. Officer Saraf observed a victim lying on the ground as 2 females were performing CPR. The 3 females on the scene were identified by Canton PD as Karen Reed, Jennifer McCabe, and Carrie Roberts. Officer Saraf observed the victim to be cold to the touch, not breathing, and returned to his cruiser to receive an AED device. At this time, Canton Fire and EMS arrived on the scene and took over first aid. Paramedics transported O'Keefe to Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton. O'Keefe was determined to be deceased several hours later by Dr. Justin Rice. Cold to the touch and not breathing. So, Lieutenant Paul Gallagher, Detective Sergeant Michael Lank, and Sergeant Sean Good arrived on scene moments after the 911 call, after the victim was transported to Good Samaritan Hospital. Lieutenant Gallagher, Detective Sergeant Lank, and Sergeant Good began to search for any evidence. They discovered a broken cocktail-style glass and multiple patches of red that appeared to be blood in the vicinity of the victim. Canton police officers secured the glass and the 6 samples of blood as evidence. Yes, they are talking about... Oh, Lordy, they're talking about the solo cups. They're talking about the solo cups. On January 29th, 2022, at approximately 11:30 a.m., Sergeant Buchanan and I requested to speak with Jennifer McCabe and her husband, Matthew, who both agreed to speak with us. We first spoke with Jennifer, who stated her and some friends were at the Waterfall Bar last night in Canton. Jennifer stated her and Matthew arrived at the Waterfall Bar at approximately 9 p.m. At approximately 11 p.m., John and Karen arrived at the Waterfall Bar together. John and Karen have been in a dating relationship for 2 years, and Karen stays at John's house most nights. Jennifer observed Karen walking into the bar holding a glass cup from C.F. McCarthy's with a clear liquid inside, what she believed to be vodka soda drink. Jennifer observed John wearing a baseball hat, jeans, and sneakers. John and Karen were at C.F. McCarthy's bar across the street before going to the Waterfall Bar. Jennifer stated John and Karen appeared to be in a good mood and did not notice any arguing amongst the two of them. Jennifer described the atmosphere inside of the bar as friendly, and there was no arguments among any of the patrons. You know, there was, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, a little bit of an interaction that happened at the waterfall that was not shown anywhere. And it looks like maybe two of them, John, possibly, and Higgins, possibly, having an argument, it looked like, before they left the building. If I can find that video, I'm going to share it because it's not something that they showed. It's very, very interesting. Yes, that's right. So they were only at the bar for about an hour and said that Karen had 8 or 9 shots. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. There is so much, you guys. Are they actually going to be able to bring it again? Are they going to be able to bring it? I know that Lolly is eager and wants to, but that doesn't mean he can. There's nothing. And I don't believe double jeopardy applies because it wasn't a not guilty. As far as I know, I also hear that in the background that possibly some of the jurors may have gotten a hold of the defense for some reason. Now, if this is the case, hola, guys, hola. Okay, let's see here. Baseball hat, waterfall. So it says that as the bar began to close down, everyone was invited back to 34 Fairview Road. Jennifer observed Karen and John leaving the waterfall bar together. Okay, so a 4th juror has come forward in the Karen Reed case. Okay, thank you, Dandy. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's see here. As the group was exiting the bar, John texted Jennifer, "Where to?" At 12:14 a.m., Jennifer replied with the address, 34 Fairview Road. At 12:18 a.m., John called Jennifer to ask where the house was located on Fairview Road. While inside the residence, Jennifer observed a black SUV, she said. It arrived in front of 34 Fairview Road from the front door. Jennifer texted John at 12:31 a.m. and said, "Hello." At 12:40, she texted, "Pull up behind me." Jennifer observed the black SUV move from its initial place of the vehicle, stop on the street near the driveway, and then proceed to the left side of the property. At 12:45 a.m., Jennifer texts John, "Hello," and then observed the black SUV drive away. Jennifer stated that they discovered John in the area she last observed the SUV on the left side of the property at approximately 4:53 a.m. Jennifer received a phone call from Karen looking for John. Karen was distraught and drove her over to Jennifer's house. Karen told Jennifer that the last thing she remembers seeing John was at the waterfall. Jennifer informed Karen. This is interesting because Jennifer informed Karen she observed John and her leave the bar together. Jennifer drove Karen's vehicle from her house back to John's house. Karen was too hysterical to drive and had Carrie Roberts follow them. While driving to John's house, Karen stated to Jennifer, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" Jennifer stated that Karen told her about the cracked taillight on her vehicle. Once they arrived at John's house, Karen had Jennifer look at the cracked taillight. Jennifer described the passenger side right rear taillight as cracked. Jennifer and Karen entered Carrie's vehicle to look for John. Karen was seated at the back as Carrie drove, and Jennifer was seated in the front seat. Jennifer said they turned onto Fairview Road from Chapman Street. At the time, it was snowing heavily, creating poor visibility. We've seen that. Jennifer stated just prior to 34 Fairview Road, there's a cluster of trees, and immediately Karen stated she had seen John. Jennifer and Carrie were not able to see John and initially confused by Karen's statement. Jennifer stated Carrie began wiping snow off of John as Karen laid on top of him for warmth and began CPR. Sergeant Buchanan and I arrived at Good Samaritan Hospital to view the victim. I observed approximately 6 bloodied lacerations varying in length on O'Keefe's right arm. The cuts extended from his forearm to his bicep. Both of the victim's eyes were swollen shut and black and blue. I observed a cut to the right eyelid of the victim's clothing, blue jeans, orange shirt, long sleeve shirt, and boxer shorts were saturated, containing blood and vomit. I observed 1 black Nike sneaker and 1 Nike logo on the side belonging to the victim. On January 31st, 2022, Dr. Irini Scorti-Bello from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Mashpee conducted the autopsy of John O'Keefe. Dr. Scorti-Bello advised of several abrasions to the right forearm, 2 swollen black eyes, a cut above the right eye, cut to the left of his nose, and approximately a 2-inch laceration at the back of his head, and multiple skull fractures that resulted in bleeding. Dr. Scorti-Bello advised the victim's pancreas was a dark color and hypothermia was a contributing factor. You guys, just unreal. Unreal. I'm sorry, I'm having a little mouse issue. On January 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:15 p.m., Sergeant Buchanan and I conducted an interview of Matthew McCabe. So Matthew McCabe stated he had known John for approximately 8 years and met Karen a handful of times. Matthew stated he was at the waterfall on Saturday night and observed John and Karen enter. Matthew observed John wearing a baseball hat with a curved visor and Karen drinking a clear liquid, possibly vodka. Matthew stated everyone was going to 34 Fairview Road from the bar. Matthew entered his vehicle with his wife. Jennifer was on the phone telling John to go to 34 Fairview Road. While at the Fairview residence, Matthew, now did you guys hear this in court? Matthew was looking out the front door and described an SUV initially parked in front of the house. Matthew looked out the window and observed the same vehicle had moved toward the right side of the property from where Matthew's vantage point was. Inside through the front door of the vehicle was to his right on the left side of the property if you're looking at the house. On January 29th. So did you guys hear anything about Matt McCabe looking out that window? I don't recall seeing, hearing anything along those lines. That's what I remember. Said he was sitting at the table looking out the window. And now he's basically saying he was right up at the window and looking out the front door. As per, now you have to remember, this is Trooper Proctor's report. This is his report. Okay, so troopers Matthew Dunn and David DeSico conducted the interview of Carrie Roberts at approximately 5 a.m. Carrie received a phone call from Karen stating John did not come home and that it was snowing. She was worried about Carrie. And she was worried. Sorry, Carrie met Karen at Jennifer McCabe's house and observed Karen to be hysterical. Carrie stated she believed Karen was still intoxicated in the morning and told Carrie she did not remember last night. Jesus. Oh, she sticks her face in there. So let's see here. Jennifer's sister lives at 34 Fairview Road. Carrie followed Karen's black SUV, Lexus SUV, back to John's house. Carrie drove Jennifer and Karen to 34 to look for John. Carrie described the weather as being a whiteout condition as they were driving around. As they got to 34 Fairview Road, Karen stated, "There he is. I see him from inside the vehicle." Carrie stated only Karen saw John as she saw John as he was covered in snow, and although whiteout conditions, she was able to see him. Carrie stated after they exited the vehicle, Karen stated, "I see him." Carrie was still not able to see John at this point due to the weather conditions. Carrie observed John approximately 12 feet from the roadway, swollen right eye with lacerations above it and blood around the nose and mouth. Carrie stated they began CPR and called 911. On February 1st, 2022, I, Trooper Proctor, spoke with Carrie via phone. Carrie stated January 29th, 2022 at approximately 5 a.m. She was contacted by Karen. Carrie answered the phone to hear Karen state, "I hope he's not deleted, Carrie. I wonder if he's deleted. It's snowing. Did he get hit by a snowplow?" On January 29th, 2022 at approximately 4:30 p.m., Sergeant Buchanan and I arrived at 345 Country Something Drive in Dighton, Mass. The residence was the home of Karen Reed's parents. Upon arrival, Sergeant Buchanan and I observed a large black SUV bearing Massachusetts registration. The vehicle is registered to Karen Reed. The vehicle was parked outside in the driveway in front of the garage door. We observed the rear right passenger taillight to be shattered. A large plastic piece was missing from the taillight. Still not sounding like what we've seen. We heard at the very, very beginning that there was a crack and maybe a small piece missing. Now, if you noticed when they did the reconstruction, it was all put together except for that one initial piece that they didn't find, which I believe is the original piece, possibly from backing up into a vehicle. Personal opinion. So let's see. We observed the right passenger side taillight to be shattered. A large red plastic piece was missing from the taillight. So again, a large red plastic piece. They're not saying the whole thing. They're not talking about the clear part of the taillight that they said later on was missing and was found and put together with the red pieces. So Sergeant Butnick and Proctor were invited inside by the homeowners, Karen's, that would be her parents. Karen was seated in the living room couch and agreed to speak with us. Karen stated she met the victim at C.F. McCartney's bar in Canton at approximately 9 p.m. on January 29th, 2022. The victim was there with several friends prior to Karen's arrival. Karen stated the victim was consuming beer and she was drinking vodka sodas. Again, how the hell do they know what she was drinking? How do they know what was actually in that glass? How do they know? Karen described the glassware she was drinking out as vase style. Karen stated that the victim left C.F. McCarthy's and went to the Waterfall Bar. Karen stated she did not leave C.F. McCarthy's or enter the Waterfall Bar with a glass or drink. Karen said the victim were at the waterfall for approximately 1 hour. During that time, there was no altercations or arguments amongst anyone. When Karen and the victim left the waterfall, they were invited to the house on Fairview Road. Karen stated she dropped the victim off at the house at Fairview and went home since she was having stomach issues at the previous bar. Karen stated she dropped the victim off. She made a 3-point turn in the street and left. Karen did not see the victim enter the house. Karen told investigators she first observed the broken taillight in the morning and did not know how she broke it last night. While at the 2 bars, Karen stated she did not observe any injuries or cuts on the victim's arms, and the victim did not suffer any injuries or cuts while at the bar. When Karen discovered the victim in the morning, she observed him lying face up, snow on his eyes, or his legs, eyes swollen, and blood coming from his nose and mouth. Karen had been providing mouth to mouth. Karen attempted to contact the victim throughout the night, calling and texting him numerous times with no response. Karen informed investigators her and the victim were in a verbal argument that morning over what Karen fed the victim's niece for breakfast. So it wasn't a big row. Should you change your title about Proctor being charged? We discussed that at the very beginning. And right now we are looking at his reason for getting his warrants. All righty. At approximately 1 p.m., Sergeant Butnick and I interviewed firefighter Katie McLaughlin and the Canton Police Department. Katie was assigned to the station to Station 1 on Saturday, January 29th, 2022. Katie stated at approximately 5 a.m., Canton Fire and EMS were dispatched to 34 Fairview for a male party discovered in the snow. So again, male party. Why are we calling an officer down a male party? So he was discovered in the snow, unresponsive. Upon arrival, Katie observed the victim being worked on by the paramedics. Once inside the ambulance, Katie observed the victim to have trauma to his face and eye area and vomit in his mouth. Katie observed the victim wearing jeans, socks, and one black Nike sneaker. The victim's shirt were cut and the chest exposed for chest compressions. Katie exited the ambulance to speak with Karen as to the victim's identity and medical history. Katie described Karen as a white female, approximately 5'5", thin, brown blonde hair, brown eyes, and early 40s in age. What are we doing here? So let's see here. Katie asked Karen if she knew where the victim suffered the trauma on his face and body. Karen stated, Karen turned to a friend and stated, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. So right now, this can be taken 2 ways. I hit him, or I hit him. Do you know, when you're just reading something versus hearing somebody actually make the statement, it literally can make a difference on how you process it. On January 29th, 2022, at approximately 5:30 p.m., Sergeant Butnick and I seized the black Lexus. So this is 5:30 p.m. the same day, and they already had a warrant to take this vehicle. They didn't go in and check the house. They didn't talk to the people in the house. They didn't inquire about animals. They didn't ask why a cop whose yard it is, who is a first responder, did not come out and find out why there was sirens, lights, and people all over the front of his yard. So they took that to the Canton Police Department, and we did see that because it was inverted during the trial. This is where they bring the vehicle in, and it looks like somebody's getting out of the passenger side, but really what it is it had been flipped. So they are seeing the driver's side the opposite away, or where that taillight would have been. When they turned it around, it all made sense. Proctor was standing behind that taillight. On February 1st, 2022 at 9 a.m., members from the Massachusetts State Police Crime Scene Services, Collision Analysis Reconstruction, or CARS, and a laboratory chemist processed the black Lexus bearing Massachusetts registration at the Canton Police Department. Fragments of broken glass was observed on the rear bumper of the vehicle. Remembering, they're talking about a blizzard going on while this vehicle was moved around. And they're saying that the light was shattered and pieces missing from the red and clear glass now. On the right side of the rear tailgate, a deep scratch and a minor dent were observed. Again, they weren't able to prove when any of this stuff happened. On the right side of the rear tailgate, a deep scratch and minor dent. Oh, Lordy. The rear bumper above the small red light, 2 scratches were observed and a piece of paint chipped off. Troopers from CARS performed a rapid acceleration forward and reverse and noted there was no deficiencies with the braking system. A training figure resembling a human, approximately 6 feet in height, was placed behind the Lexus. The vehicle was operated by members of CARS and documented with video by Crime Scene Services. The vehicle was placed in reverse and started to travel towards the training figure. The rear view camera and operating property about 100-degree visual, and the Lexus traveled closer to the figure. Auditory and visual cues sounded off, indicating an obstruction to the rear. Now they're saying that when they looked at the little black box, they didn't show any of this. It didn't show any of this. So there's that. On January 29th, Massachusetts Special Emergency Response Team was activated to assist in searching for potential evidence outside of 34 Fairview. When looking at 34 Fairview Road from the street, there's a fire hydrant on the far left of the property. Members of CERT located a black sneaker with the Nike logo on the side. The sneaker located by CERT matches the one sneaker the victim was wearing at the time he was transported by EMS. In the same area, they found 2 red plastic pieces of taillight. So again, this confused me a little bit because when they found him, there was just a dusting of snow. Why were they not able to see all of this stuff? It's a little bit confusing. So they're saying that those pieces did match up to Karen Reed's black Lexus, and 1 piece of clear plastic of the taillight was also located. So again, they didn't mention anything about the clear plastic being cracked or damaged. Based on the information in the above paragraphs, witness statements, evidence recovered from the scene and damage to Karen Reed's Lexus SUV, consistent to the items located on the scene, the trauma to the victim, and statements made by Reed to friends. I believe that the crime of manslaughter, violation of Massachusetts general law, and it gives the section 13, negligent motor vehicle homicide, a violation of Massachusetts general laws, and leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. The victim being identified as John O'Keefe suffered significant blunt force trauma to his bodily injuries sustained, and the bodily injuries sustained by him proved that it was substantial in the fact establishing grounds for the issuance of an arrest warrant for Karen Reed. So this is what they took as gospel when it came to the Karen Reed case. Unreal. Unreal. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So thank you for getting me this, Dandy. So right over here on the left side, we've got the circled area. We didn't see any of this, did we? It's very brief. It's footage, the final moments between Brian Higgins and Chris Albert. So look at this. Okay, I thought John O'Keefe was in there. Is that him back there? So this is what they're saying, a little bit of an aggressive movement here. And look at over here, we've got okay. So what did he just? Oh, sorry, guys. What is all this about? Oh, yeah, there he is there. Sorry, up at the bar, he's circled. My bad. Okay. Chris Albert grabbing Higgins' arm. Wow. See, we didn't see any of this, did we? I find it very interesting. Yeah, John was up here. My bad. I'll watch it one more time. We didn't see this stancing, as they would call it. And we got, yeah, John over there. There we are. Very interesting. I'm not sure what all these arm movements are about. Did we see that, Sheba? Because I didn't think we did, but I'll if you've seen it, you've seen it. Okay, 33 minutes ago, defense filing. Fourth juror says guilty. Karen was not. Let me see if I can find that. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see what I can find. Well, looky. Karen Reed's lawyer, fourth juror, has come out with confirmation that the purportedly deadlocked jury internally agreed to acquit Reed of second-degree M and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. Reed's high-profile trial ended in a mistrial last week after juries said they were at an impasse and starkly divided following the days of deliberations. The defense filed a motion on Monday asking Judge Beverly Canone to dismiss 2 of the 3 charges against Reed, citing unsolicited information of the 3 of 12 deliberating jurors. Karen Reed is charged with second-degree M, manslaughter while operating a vehicle under the influence and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. Prosecutor said she was drunk driving and intentionally backed her SUV into her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. So they're looking now at a 4th juror who has come forward. Deadlocked jury initially agreed to acquit Reed of second-degree M. Wow. Yeah. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Okay, the Massachusetts State Police lead investigator in the Karen Reed case has been suspended without pay. Interim State Police Superintendent Colonel John Mon accepted the recommendation made by the hearing board to place Michael Proctor of Canton on unpaid leave. Damn straight. Proctor led the investigation into the case of Reed, a Mansfield woman accused of deleting her Boston police officer boyfriend. Now, they're not saying a lot about all of the comments he made. They're just saying that he made them. And I'm sure we don't have to go through it all because what they came up with is absolutely disgusting. He sat there and admitted that he was saying this stuff in bad taste. That's not enough. That is not enough. This man needs to not work in any type of public servant role. Not even an EMT. He should be, as they're saying in some articles, he should be fired. But you know what? The FBI, as we were talking, they are still looking into all of this. So if there is more, I believe more people are going to be called out. I think there's going to be more suspensions. And I think a lot of them might turn into outright firing, losing their position. Now, of course, they're going to have to fight probably the union. I'm sure they're a part of a union. Lead investigator Karen Reed's M case put on unpaid leave. Karen Reed's attorneys say jury unanimously agreed to second-degree M was off the table. John O'Keefe's brother walking by and saying, "You're not done yet." And as we know, they've also got Kevin Albert. And I'm hearing that after the meeting that they had in Canton on Monday, that possibly, is it, let me see here, I'm looking through chat. Oh, I think you're right there, James. I think that pizza shop plays a big role in how things are done with the extra cash. Yes. Big shout out to Microdot. Unreal. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Oh, the union is saying an unpaid suspension is a punishment to his young family. I don't know what y'all think of that. And yeah, he could face additional charges. So we have Canton Police Detective Kevin Albert on leave, and we have Proctor on leave. Kevin is on paid leave. And that was last month that they did this. I hadn't heard about it at the time. And as we know, there is also that outside independent investigation going on. Oh, Lordy. Yeah. 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 4 of them now. And the interesting thing is they are going to try and get this through again as another trial. I don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah, Proctor didn't care about his family while he was talking trash about Karen. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, isn't that the truth? Kevin Albert. So here we go. Brian Albert. He sat there with a witchy woman. And basically, it looked like he was almost staring down the jury. It almost, to a lot of us, looked like it was some kind of intimidation factor. Kevin Albert, whose brother owned the home where John O'Keefe's body was found in January of 2022, has been suspended for his actions during the investigation. And he conducted almost 2 years ago with the embattled state police trooper Michael Proctor. Chief Rafferty has placed Kevin Albert on paid administrative leave, while an outside independent, and this is the FBI, is being conducted relative to his actions in a case he investigated with Michael Proctor approximately 2 years ago. During Karen Reed's trial in Norfolk Superior Court, that he and Albert were conducting a cold case investigation on Cape Cod in July 2022. The 2 men ended their day with a few beers, and the next Proctor discovered Albert's badge in his vehicle. Yes, badge and pew-pew, if I remember correctly. Give me a second here. Why? Come back here.
About it, the police here in Canton confirms that Kevin Albert, a detective here in Canton, was placed on leave back on June 13th. That was 3 days after Trooper Michael Proctor took the witness stand in the Karen Reed case. The chief says Albert is on administrative leave pending an investigation into Proctor's testimony. On the witness stand, Proctor acknowledged he was friends with Kevin Albert. He told the jury they went out drinking several months after John O'Keefe died. They worked on a cold case together and communicated about the O'Keefe case. The Canton Police Department had already recused itself from the investigation due to Albert's connection.
But did they really? Did they really? Look at how many people were on the stand that Lally brought up from the Canton Police Department. Because why? Well, they were out there doing searches. They were out there just, I just drove by there. It's my normal route. And I saw this happening. What?
To it. Kevin Albert's brother Brian was a key witness for the prosecution and one of the people the defense tried to implicate in O'Keefe's death. Now, earlier this week, Proctor was placed on
What? Why do you keep doing this? No ads.
Leave by the state police following a duty status hearing, and that was due to offensive text messages that he sent from his personal phone to colleagues as well as friends. Those messages, of course, were about Karen Reed. The union representing Trooper Proctor calls the move, quote, disappointing. In a statement, the State Police Association of Massachusetts says it, quote, will never condone the unacceptable language used in personal text messages presented as evidence during the trial. But the union says the suspension is a punishment for Proctor's family. Trooper Proctor remains the subject of an ongoing internal affairs investigation. Reporting live this morning in Canton.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The behavior from the Canton Police Department was absolutely disgusting. So, yeah, Kevin's out right now. Brian's out. Isn't out. But will he be one of the next ones? What about Higgins? What's going on with Higgins right now? Holy shite. That Bev should be either recusing herself or she shouldn't be the girl that's making the decisions. She just showed that, didn't she? And now we've got jurors coming back saying, listen, we had decided this and we had decided that. We did not hear that in open court, not one time. The case didn't fall apart because of Proctor. It was a lack of evidence. That's right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Oh, he was Ruthie. Oh, Jennifer McCabe. Why? Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, I agree with that. Bev should have cleared Karen Reed on those charges in line with the jury. The upper courts might have a look at her behavior. I certainly hope so. Yeah, that's right. People get fired all the time. Time for him to go. It has nothing to do about his family. I mean, do you feel bad that his family has to pay for his shit? Yeah, that's too bad. But is what it is. You don't deserve to have any kind of power in that area. You abuse it. Yep. That's right. He was the one that went to the military base randomly and started dropping SIM cards and parts of telephones. Right? So, guys, I've been saying that I will bring out one of our skinny pigs at the end. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar. These guys are new to our house. So they're going to be a little bit squeaky. They're going to be a little bit squeaky, but I will see if I can grab one of them. We got Penelope and Guinevere. Hello, little lady. I know. Don't scream. I got you. Oh, it's okay. I got you. I got you a carrot. Okay. I got you something, though. Okay. So, how do we get her up there? Meet Guinevere. Some carrot. So she is a grandma. She's 3.5 years old. I'm trying to get you comfy. I got you. There, look at the people. This is Guinevere. I just have a little blanket for her because my hands are cold, but they call them house hippos. And she's 3.5 years old. Isn't she adorable? A little house hippo. A little bit of a house hippo. It likes carrots. Yep, Grammy Guinevere. Isn't she adorable? Can you guys get these in the US? Mexi was in Discord and showed pictures of skinny pigs, and ours passed away a while ago. So as soon as I seen the one that Mexi posted, I phoned my husband. On your way home, can you please bring me home a skinny pig? So he stopped. You can get them there? Nice. So yeah, they're grandma, and then Penelope is the younger one that we've got, and then she was the mom. There was 2 babies, and people weren't taking the older ones. They wanted the babies. So, you know, they all deserve a home. They've all got hearts. Munching on your carrots. So you care for them. They're more affectionate than a guinea pig, which is hard to believe. You don't think of these little critters as affectionate, I guess, but they're very affectionate. She's dry, so I'm going to put some aloe vera on her in a little bit. And they eat same thing as a guinea pig, same kind of thing. Vitamin C is something that all of the critters need a lot of, right? You didn't take it, Dandy? You had an opportunity to get a little one? Oh, you should have nabbed it. Let me tell you. They are just amazing little critters. Anything you guys want to know about them? They can live 6 to 8 years, I'm going to say, somewhere in there. So yeah, that is our newest. I think I've shown you guys the coconut oil too. Yep, exactly, Dandy. I use either or. You use coconut oil on your parrots. So what, on their beaks? So skinny pigs, they're made in a lab. There is a big thing going on, of course, for using animals for testing. And they used guinea pigs. And Everybody went wild about harming these guinea pigs. So what they did is they made their own. They made skinny pigs to do testing on. So, no, you can see her daughter running around in there, squealing and making some sounds. Yeah, coconut oil is amazing. I've got it. I got that shite everywhere. Oh, do they need dusts too? I've never had a parrot. Just happy. Oh, Sheba. Yeah, I was thinking about grabbing onto that and maybe watching it with you guys, because wasn't that a show? Wasn't that a show? Absolutely. I couldn't believe it when I seen him getting all aggressive and totally different than what he was behaving. Like he was behaving on the street. They were acting like a bunch of goons. No, not sincere at all. It is, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Most of my animals start off as rescues because I'll take any age. I'll take, if they're missing a limb, I don't care. I'd rather take them and take care of them than let somebody do something bad to them. Do you think he wished he could have pled the 5th? Yeah, I do believe. I think you're bang on there, Sheba. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and the type of, you want to call that loyalty, there was none. Okay. Dingo, have a great night. So yeah, very soothing. They're not Penelope in there. When I first got her, I was trying to hold on to her and she was quite bouncy. And I decided to pull out Guinevere because she is a little bit calmer, actually a lot calmer. When they're not held, they get nervous, right? They get sketchy. But after a while, Guinevere is going to know that she's safe with me and I'll be able to open up. Okay, just in case. I have a feeling you want to go to the bathroom. Where's your carrot? Where's your carrot, kid? Okay, just on the off chance you have to go to the bathroom, please go hang out with your kid. Come on, I'll put the carrot in for you. Jump. There you go. Good girl. Here, take your carrot. Good girl. So there we go, guys. Penelope pit stop. Oh, goodness. So, guys, there you go. I'm going to look into that Canton board meeting, and if I can find something, and I'm not sure what I'm doing after this, but if I've got some time, I would love to go through that with you guys too. Penelope Pit Stop. I don't know that name. So guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for spending your time with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
dun 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 dun.